Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. And now, celebrating 15 years of broadcasting, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM, we welcome you all back to our program. Also, those tuning in through online affiliates around the world, including our iHeartRadio family, we're glad to have all of you with us as well. We're excited to welcome writer and director Alex DeLerma to our program today. Alex is celebrating not only his film, Fear, Love, and Agoraphobia, but also what it's been like for him to have had an idea like this film and now to be able to see it being brought to life and enjoyed by audiences. Now, if you're just hearing about the film, we'll tell you at the end of our segment how you can stay connected with the film and Alex. But Alex, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Hey, Cyrus. Thanks for having me on. This is great.
The pleasure is definitely all mine. I was really excited to speak with you. I got a chance to watch the film myself, and like I said, we'll be letting our audience know how they can stay connected with the film and of course, the updates with it. But first of all, Alex, what was this experience like for you? As I said, I mean, you've now been able to celebrate this film and be able to see the way that audiences are responding to it. How does that feel as the writer of this project to see it being received so well?
You know what? It's exceeded my expectations. I really mean that, because I honestly didn't know if this was going to work, if the movie was going to work. And so this is all just what you hope will happen, and it's fantastic. Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah. And I think, as for so many creatives out there, Alex, who, whether they're writer, directors, actors, or, even recording artists and authors, I think we all know what it's like to have an idea, right, and not to know how it's going to be received. What was it, though, that kept you persistent about this? Because this was a long journey for you. What is it that made you say this was a story that you wanted to tell?
It started with the lead actor, Dustin Coffey, who plays Chet, and Chet is the agoraphobic man in our film Fear, Love, and Agoraphobia. Dustin Coffey, the actor, he's been an acting student of mine for several years, and he was getting little parts in TV network TV shows, but he was having trouble breaking into movies. So he approached me. He knew I had already directed one feature film and tons of shorts and things. So he approached me to direct a script he wrote, and he had some money. And I said, "Well, you don't have enough money, and I'm not interested in the material that you wrote, but I definitely was interested in directing Dustin because he and the other lead actress in the movie is another student of mine. They both are character actors and extremely talented and unusual. So then what happens is in the whole Hollywood scene that more than ever really favors youth, beauty, and the amount of social media followers you have, as opposed to your maybe unusual talent or training. They were having some trouble. So I wanted to work with him. I wanted to do something, and I said, let me think of an idea. And I said, you know what? I will actually become a producer with you, meaning I'll put my own money into it too. And if we don't have enough money, we'll find it. We'll do something, crowdfunding, and I know you're going to talk about that later. Yeah. But that's how it all started with Dustin, just being a really hungry actor and wanting to, chase his dream. And then I thought, because I've done an independent film before, and I know how hard it is when you have to do it on a modest budget. Somebody winds up basically doing a lot of work. And that's me, because I can do several things: writing, editing, producing, directing, and then it just takes forever because you don't have the money to just pay somebody to go, hey, go do this, right, and get back to me. So that's how it all came about, and I thought about what I wanted to explore as far as a theme or a topic, and that's where the agoraphobia came from. and just exploring loneliness and the feeling of being trapped in your own life or circumstances.
Yeah.
And I approached Dustin with that, and he has had something in his life that was agoraphobic, so he knew something about it, and he said, I'm interested in that. Let's write it, and we'll do it. And so I did.
Yeah, and the rest, as they say, is history. I want to say, you mentioned the crowdfunding aspect, and I mentioned too about the role of the internet and social media, how it played in this. I mean, we talk about in this program all the time, Alex, when used responsibly and respectfully, the internet can be an amazing tool. I mean, for what you guys did with crowdfunding, with Kickstarter, was truly remarkable. I mean, do you still have those wow moments when you kind of think of, okay, this is the goal we're setting. This is what we're going to need. And then to be able to exceed that goal, do you still have those moments when you go, wow?
Yeah, both for not just the crowdfunding, but also, what you and I are doing right now, what you're helping to facilitate, and the other people on the internet, just being able to publicize this very modest independent film. Independent film, as you know, was big in the I'd say the early '90s when Clerks and Tarantino and Rodriguez, and it seemed like anybody could do a movie, and you didn't necessarily need a star, and you didn't need a ton of money, and that kind of sort of came and went, or certainly it's doesn't feel as easy as to do now, but with the crowdfunding, and then after the movie's done, okay, the movie's done, but now what? You have to get it out there, and if you don't have a budget for that, then we independent filmmakers have to depend on people like you. So you guys have been great too with the publicity, and the crowdfunding was great. Kickstarter, so. Dustin obviously came to me, and he had some money, and then I was willing to go ahead and contribute, and we still didn't have enough, so then we went to Kickstarter, and then through Kickstarter we were able to get enough to get it made, and we thought to also finish to do the post-production, but when we were done, we still needed some more money, so then we, not much, but a bit more. Then we went to Indiegogo, and then we had some people there that helped out. So that's how the journey went.
Yeah. And it's such an amazing journey, and again, I hope will inspire other individuals as well, Alex, as they're looking at this journey for themselves as to what can be done. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Alex DeLerman to our program today. Alex is not only a writer and director, but we're talking with him not only about the new film, Fear, Love, and Agoraphobia, but also what it's been like for him to see the response. And we mentioned, of course, being able to have, your lead actor and being able to, have someone who was able to help bring this to life. But then there's also the aspect of the awards the film is getting. I mean, I know in seeing it for myself, I mean, there are some moments, of course, that will make you laugh, and but there are other moments that really make you think about, this is real life for so many people. And that's another thing I appreciated, Alex, about the depth you all went into to get this right, and you even talked about that on the Kickstarter page. How important was that for you to make sure that you were handling what could be a sensitive topic in a way that audiences got something from it?
It was very important because, as an independent filmmaker, like I said, you wind up being with a project probably much longer than a studio picture, and so you better really care about what you're saying. And in fact, we had been advised, hey, well, why don't you guys do a horror film? I don't have anything against horror. I like some horror films, and so I'm not looking down on horror, but that's not my specialty. And for me to invest years into something, I want years later to come back and go, oh, you know what? We said something with that. And so the anxiety disorders that millions of people suffer from, and specifically agoraphobia, we talked about it, and we thought, I don't think there's a movie out there that's really sort of addressing this. We found a few movies. There was a couple horror films, and that's fun. That's great. Nothing wrong with that. To use, she's trapped in the house with a ghost, but she can't get out. She's got agoraphobia. But it can tend to be maybe silly or, or agoraphobia. We found it also been used sort of as a punchline in a comedy. Again, I don't have any problem with that whatsoever, but there's certainly room to make a more of a serious film, or a film that will portray what agoraphobia is in a real way, as to educate the audience and at the same time entertain them, which, because of the comedy in it, the very light real life comedy in it, we were able to do.
Right. For sure. And I think, again, that is the beauty of it. I want to talk about, too, the acting in another way for you, Alex. I mean, as you said, you've been able to find success for yourself in storytelling through film. To be able to see the words being brought to life by this talented cast, how does that make you feel, not only about the story, but also they're wanting to make sure that they were able to do it justice?
Yeah, I'm really appreciative to both of the lead actors, Dustin Coffey and Linda Brzezinski, because they accomplished what you just described, and also the the only name actor that we have in the film is Lori Petty, who was, as people know, the 90s icon, and she's still continuing to work and doing great on Orange is the New Black and Gotham and Hawaii Five-0, and there's another show I can't think of. But anyway, they all really did help bring the words to life, and that was fun as a writer to see, and to also work with them. I work in a different way, more from my theater background. So what that means is, after I'd written the script and I had my two leads, which was easy because I wrote those two leading roles specifically for Linda and Dustin. We did about 3 months of rehearsal. So the rehearsal was sort of like a very long rehearsal period, but also workshopping the script. So I would assign them scenes, maybe, a couple of scenes on such and such day. They would show up, and then they'd run it for me, and then I would shoot it, make notes. I'd give them adjustments. I'd, just give them direction and have them try it. And then I would go home and rewrite the scene, based on what we had worked on. And so after 3 months, the script was finally in a place where I felt like we were ready to shoot it.
And I tell you again, to be able to see the story unfolding and know again how real this is for people, Alex, I think has to be a great thing too. For yourself, when you were, especially now that audiences are able to see it and the reviews, like I said, have been coming in, and I'll be writing a review myself, and sharing it. That word of mouth, and you mentioned that earlier, I have definitely found that to be key for platforms like ours. But have you found that really in the world we're in today really does mean so much when it comes to, as you were talking about, getting the word out and introducing it to audiences who may not have heard about it yet?
Yeah, word of mouth is huge. And as you said before, it's all changed now with social media. And so the positive, certainly there's always, negative and positive things that come along with any technological advance or anything that we create as humans, right? But this is certainly a positive one with, as I said, because the independent filmmakers, now we have that word of mouth on the internet, and and as long as people see value in what we're trying to do, and they're entertained and educated by it and like it, they'll share it, and they have been on all the major social media platforms. And today, by the way, is our actual release date. So we went live or became available on video on demand today at 12 midnight. So it's on iTunes and Google Play and Amazon, and that's super exciting. There's already a few reviews from people who've watched the movie, and so far so good.
Right. And I think that is the amazing thing, too. I mean, and I think, too, and Alex, we have to talk about this because I mentioned earlier about the creative community. I mean, you are not only someone who is doing something that you love, you're also setting an example for other people. I mean, how much of that is in your head that you are not only living out your own dream, but you're showing other people that they can do it, too?
Yeah, absolutely. That's important to me because I had so many people help me on my first feature film, and that had sort of been down that road before. Oh, you're going to make a movie? Okay, well, and I'd get tips and things and just help. And there's so many people that helped me and taught me and mentored me and got me through, like 10 short films, 2 features, a web series, you name it. So that's part of what I had mentioned that Dustin Linder and my students, I mentor a lot of directors and actors through my Cinema Gym studio in Burbank. So yeah, that was definitely important. And a lot of my students were actually worked on the project. Our cinematographer, that was his first feature film. He was a directing student of mine. And he certainly had been a working cinematographer, but mostly in music videos, red carpet events, a lot of reality television, and he just didn't get that first opportunity to be a director of photography on a feature film. So this was his first feature. So a lot of firsts on this one. So it's very gratifying.
For sure. And again, we're going to remind our audience how they can be able to get it for themselves and to be able to help spread the word, too. So, Alex, I have to ask you about the what's next. I know you're enjoying this because it just happened, right? I mean, after all of this time, being able to live with it. But in your mind as a creative, I know that's another fault that sometimes we have, we're already thinking about the next thing. I mean, is that where your mind's already gone, or are you just trying to be in the present of this experience right now?
No, actually, once I finished Locking Picture and we started, we made a conscious decision to tour for 1 year, to try to get into as many festivals and win as many awards as we could for 2017 before trying to do distribution. That was the sort of the game plan in the whole. So while that was going on, I was thinking, okay, what's next? And what's next is, I started a program through my Cinema Gym acting and directing studio where my students can, if they can come up with a script, a short subject script that will promote them as a director or an actor, then I would facilitate that by putting in a percentage of the budget and also raising a larger chunk of the budget from a couple of organizations that I have relationships with. So it's the Cinema Gym Short Film Project, and we just shot our first short, and I'm the producer on it because I'm trying to facilitate actors and directors to create their own work outside of my classes in the real world, to just get out there and class is great, but you got to get out in the real world and do it. So that's been exciting, and that first short film is called Mortal Coil, and so we're just going to be shooting the last day of that very soon. And I've also been writing my third feature film, which is going to be a thriller that's going to deal with tensions between men and women that seem to be just growing as of late. So there's going to be some messages in there, and it's going to be fun.
Got you. Well, a lot for us to be able to look forward to, but in the meantime, we definitely want our audience to be able to go to our friends at Amazon.com or through your favorite online retailer to be able to get the film that we've been discussing here, Fear, Love, and Agoraphobia. The show Support actually rented it for the weekend from Amazon, even though I'd already seen it. Yeah, of course. And I'll be writing a review on Amazon as well. Definitely encourage anyone who has not seen it yet to go ahead and rent it. As he mentions, you can see it not only, of course, on iTunes or through our partner at Amazon.com, but definitely take advantage of doing that. And then, of course, the film is available on social media as well as Alex. So, Alex, let our audience know how they can stay connected with you.
Thank you so much. That's really cool of you. And thanks for the plug there, too. Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, and people can stay connected with Fear, Love, and Agoraphobia through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our website is www.fearloveandagoraphobia.com, and I've been trying to keep up with having our webmaster put up reviews, interviews, and I don't know how long you've got, but later we'll talk, and we should get a link to this so that people can hear it in the future.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, and we'll definitely make sure that we tag you as well because we're following you on social media, Alex. So we'll make sure that we tag your social media as well for Facebook and Twitter for the film too. So congratulations to you. Really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, and glad that we could share that with our audience. And definitely invite you all to see this film. I mean, it will make you laugh, it will make you think, but definitely a film worth watching. And it's perfect, of course, as you're headed into the weekend. Again, it's called Fear, Love, and Agoraphobia. In fact, for those joining us through our Heart family, you guys will see the link to Amazon actually with this particular podcast there on iHeart. So make sure you guys just click there. You can be able to get it. But as you heard Alex say too, make sure you all take advantage. If you're an iTunes person, make sure you guys are able to get it there. Wherever you're able to rent and buy movies, you can take advantage of that. And Alex, looking forward to our next conversation together.
Cyrus, man, thanks again for all you do. We really appreciate the support. Thank you.
Hey, the pleasure's definitely all mine. Really appreciate that. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late and missed part of the conversation with Alex, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media site. So head over to Facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go to Twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share with your friends from there too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.